You were not born to be a doormat. But then why are you living like one? Have you ever thought of that? If you have ever walked away from a conversation feeling angry at yourself, this video is for you. Being too nice, being a people pleaser will not get you places, but being real will. But nobody ever taught us how to be real, how to actually be ourselves. Everybody says that you should be yourself, you should feel confident and blah blah. But does anybody ever told you how to do that? Today I'm going to teach you that exactly the 7 steps that I actually followed in the past 1 year, and they have made world of a difference for me. And you just need to follow those. Just try for 21 days. Just trust me, and I promise you, if you do that, you're going to be a way better version of yourself, and you'll actually realize why being nice sucked so much in the past and why you have got your self-respect back. You think being too nice actually makes you lovable, or like too lovable, so that people will, think good of you, or maybe you'll have more friends. But what if I told you that it is actually the reason why people walk all over you, treat you like a doormat, don't respect you, and take you for granted? It's because you don't have boundaries. Let me tell you, boundaries are not walls. They are doors created by you which have locks, but you only need to have the control of those locks. But how does one realize if we are actually too nice, or we are actually people pleaser, or we're just sweet people and still we are getting, such slack from people, you know? So have you ever seen, or have you ever seen yourself saying yes even when you feel like not doing it or not saying yes? Right? Have you ever felt like, in situations, why am I doing this? Okay, what's the harm, let's just do it. Maybe if I say no, maybe he'll not be my friend anymore, or maybe what will he think? Even before what you will feel, you're thinking what the other person will feel. That is not people pleasing, it's self abandonment that you just did. You are not getting respect from other people because you're not respecting yourself first. Now, I was that person. I was you. I used to, say yes even when I didn't feel like doing something. I used to be around people who really, I didn't really like being around them. It's just that I wanted to fit in, or I, used to get anxious if somebody gets upset with me, and I used to avoid conflict at all costs and used to apologize all the time, and that actually led to me feeling burned out and resentful ultimately. Right? That's when I realized I need to work on it, and I actually figure out over time the things that actually worked in making me a more confident version, not being the people pleaser that everybody or the society, molds us into, and doing actually what is needed. Because being people pleaser will not take you places, but being real will. Now let's first come to the part where, how can being nice actually impact you? Like, how can actually it hurt you? We just feel that even if I'm being nice, it's just being sweet, how, what worse can it, do to me? I'll tell you what actually it does and how it destroys your self-respect. You attract narcissists, abusers, and people who just want to use you. That's one of the bad effects of being a people pleaser. You don't even realize this happens, but it happens all the time with you. But you're just so into being there for them that you don't even realize that how they are impacting you, right? And in that process you lose your own identity, because it all becomes like, you know how can I make somebody else like me more? Maybe in that, by doing that I'll get more love, maybe I'll become their favorite person, as if that had a prize on it. Nobody cares, nobody cares. In return, people don't take you seriously because they know that you're going to say yes. They know that you're not going to, respect yourself enough to say no. You're not going to say things that can make them upset. Let me tell you, Niceness is not kindness, it's self erasure. You erase yourself, you erase your true identity. Being nice and being kind are two very, very different concepts. I do understand that, people do use these two words, in a similar fashion as if they are the same word, like synonym. No, it's not. The difference between both the things is the one who is nice does not have enough self respect to stand up for themselves. And it's actually not your fault. It completely is not your fault, because if we go at the root cause of how it starts to get into you, it reaches to the childhood. The childhood conditioning where we get treats or we get tagged as a good kid when we follow certain rules, when we try to impress our parents, or whenever some relatives come, if we try to, our parents make us impress them by doing some dance. But why do we have to impress anybody, right? But it's because of that childhood conditioning is why we were made to believe that we have to perform in that, in order to get those candies or those appreciation, as if like, oh, he's too smart, he's a smart kid, he's gonna do wonders. Yes, the kid does wonders, but in people pleasing, in getting walked all over them, that's what the kid does, wonders in, because that's what you taught them. Nobody tells us emotional intelligence, nobody tells us how to stand up for ourselves, and that's where the problem is. That's one of the root cause. Then later in life we reach teens. That in itself is, oh my god, I don't even know how to explain it. That's the teenage is where we get the fear of abandonment, the fear of rejection. So that also adds up to our people pleasing techniques and being too nice, so that to fit in that group which is called cool, which ultimately is not cool. It's just being bully. They are just a group of bullies, that's all. And that all continuously adds up to a lack of self-worth from the childhood conditioning, then teens, and the overall trauma of the people around you. That kind of gets add on, and you become a certified people pleaser, and you stop thinking about yourself, although you never even realize this is happening with you, but every small step kind of adds up to it. But don't worry, I could reverse it, and so could you. I'm gonna tell you exactly how I did it. I'm not gonna like write you a letter, like steps to be followed, but I'm gonna tell you what I did, and it actually made a hell lot of difference. Trust me, if you do it just for 21 days, don't even take my word, just do it for 21 days. If it does not help you out on 22nd day, just come on this video and comment that it didn't do anything for me. Just I'm just giving you this challenge. We work all of our time for others in our offices, in projects, but why not give us 21 days, right? So firstly, you need to understand the difference between being kind and being nice. Okay, so if somebody asks you for a favor, what a nice person will do, he will not take into account what all level of efforts will that favor take them to do it. Are they in a position to actually do it, or what makes the other person relevant enough to ask me for that favor? A nice person will not think like that, right? They'll just say, oh, let's do it, because how can I say no? They'll get anxious on on just the thought of saying no, or maybe making somebody upset. That's being nice. What will a kind person do? A kind person will try to understand why that person asked you for that favor, and then if it permits you to do that without taking any harm on you, on your mental health, on your schedule, or would try to understand, is it really that necessary? Or a kind person would help the person in the best possible way without abandoning oneself or compromising on your own self-worth, or just doing it just for the heck of doing it, right? So that's the difference between being kind and being nice. Being kind is not harming others, but not even harming yourself. While being nice is not harming others, but in the process, ultimately harming yourself in some way or the other without you even realizing it. So, first step is to realize and just ask yourself, am I being too nice? Will I do it if nobody else was watching me, or nobody's emotions mattered? Just think it in that sense. So that is something that you should get into the habit of doing on a day-to-day basis, right? Then you need to start to practice saying no. Then, like, just start small. Start saying no even when you think like, because initially you are gonna have a tough time saying no. So let's just start by doing and saying no even when, let's say, saying yes was not that big of a deal. You could have said yes, but just to get into the practice of saying no, you have to do it. But you're not harming anybody. Let's say somebody texts you today, right, in the afternoon, hey, are you free in the evening, let's catch up. Now a nice person would be like, yeah, let's catch up, yes. But you need to learn to say no. Here in this scenario, if you don't look at it in a proper way, the person didn't actually respect your boundaries of having to plan in advance, right? Person just asked you because they thought you're gonna say yes. You don't have, as if you don't have a life, right? Even if you don't have a life, don't let others know that you don't have one. Always protect your self-worth. Okay, so then if the person asks you, although there's no harm in saying yes and meeting that person even if you're free, but what it teaches that person is that you are available all the time. And we don't want to be teaching people not to respect us or taking us for granted. So just say no, just to set an example and to practice saying no. It is just a simple example that I gave for you to understand that a nice person would just say yes, what's the harm? But the harm is you're setting examples, right? You may have set this example long ago when somebody just tried to ask you on a last minute plan and you said yes, and now the person takes it casually. So no, that's how you figure out. So try and incorporate saying no on a day-to-day basis. Without, unless it's really important, say no. That's like very simple thing to do, and just because ultimately and otherwise you will be grasped into that concept of should I or should I not. Just say no until and unless it's harming you in some way. Until it's your boss who's asking you for a meeting in the evening, don't say no then. You have to play your cards right. Don't do all of these things without taking yourself into account. That's the point 3. Always take yourself into account, your feelings into account. What we do is we always think, what will he think, what will how will this make them feel, will they be my friend if I say no to it? We are always thinking like this. Why don't we anytime think, how will that make me feel? How will the person think of me if I say yes? Will that be a respectful thing for me to do for myself? What kind of an example am I setting? So these are the things we always think about them, but all the steps that we need to follow, you have to focus on yourself. That is the crux. Start thinking about yourself. Start making yourself the priority. You don't respect yourself, that's why other people don't do it to you. They can feel it without even you realizing it. Now, we have realized the difference between being nice, being too kind. We know that we have to say no to people even when they were expecting a yes from me, and we were not supposed to say yes, but we would have said yes just to be good or maybe nice to them. Okay, but how do we do that? Because since we have this history of saying yes, over a period of time people will start taking you lightly. That is what has been happening all throughout, right? So it won't happen just like that. In order to do that, you need to start using assertive language. If you do it like that, no, I can't come, maybe no, maybe no, that won't work, because they are in the habit of listening to yes from you. They're gonna make you say yes, they're gonna push you, and they're gonna ask you more questions, but you are not there to answer them. Start using assertive language, like, I can't do that right now, I'm not available. And don't you dare say, I'm really sorry, I'm not available. Be serious and be assertive, right? If somebody asks you, can you do this for me? And you realize that it's just they're asking you to do it because they know that you're going to do it, say no. And be serious. And don't you dare apologize for saying no. Don't be like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm really sorry. I may not be able to do it. You will be able to do it, but you're not doing it. Be as clear as possible. Okay? Because the thing is that people are going to take you lightly because they are in the habit of taking you that ways, right? Because you have been nice all throughout. That's what we have been, right? That's why we are on this chapter of life now, that we are, learning how to hack our thoughts and how to become a kinder person and not nicer, right? So you have to be assertive. And don't you dare, why, I just don't understand, why do you say sorry for doing things for yourself? They're not employing you, they're not paying you for doing anything, right? They're asking you for a favor, they're not telling you, they're asking you. That means a question, and an answer to the question should not be an apology, it should be a straight up answer. So give that what they've asked for, a yes or no. Although they are expecting a yes, give them a surprise. Say no. No, I'm not going to do it. Why? Why are you sorry for saying no? Do they pay you for doing it? You're not their assistant. All right? So be assertive, and that kind of will put them in, in their place. They'll realize, okay, I can't ask that person just like that, for anything. From next time on, they're going to think before asking you for something. That's how you set boundaries. As I said, boundaries are not walls, they are doors with locks that you have the keys for, not just everybody, right? So don't apologize for no reason, only apologize when you have done something wrong. Don't apologize for answering to somebody who asked you for a favor and it was not something that you were supposed to do it, right? You could have done it out of goodwill, but there you don't owe anybody anything. So learn to do that. Then, but how do you realize that what actually makes you feel abandoned? What all things have you been doing just out of, in spite of being nice, just for the sake of being nice? For that, you need to start writing, you need to start journaling. Write how a particular situation made you feel, and then what you learned out of it. That's the next step. Because you are so in the habit of not realizing what makes you feel, anxious, or what all actually you want. You never thought about that because we're always thinking about what other people thinking. So start by journaling and writing and analyzing the situation. Okay, what went there? Why did I do that? Why did I say yes when I should, I was not supposed to say yes? That will act as a blueprint for next time. You'll know that this has happened before and I didn't like it, so I'm not going to do it now. So that's the next step. Okay. But in order to do all of that, you have to rewire your brain. You have to rewire your thoughts, where you have to realize that your worth is not tied with pleasing others. It's not tied to how many friends you have. In fact, the lesser friends you have, it's kind of a sign that you are more real. Okay, so don't be fooled by that. Rewire your brain. Just you have to do it because all of the steps that I told you kind of get tied up to this. All of those are intertwined in one another. When you practice saying no, you kind of use assertive language, you journal, and you then rewire your thoughts. And you rewire your thoughts, that will make you, that will make it easier to say no. That will then ultimately make it easier to be assertive. Then it will make you be able to think for yourself before you think about others, because even in flights, we get those instructions that you have to take care of your safety first before you do that for others. So it's not there for no reason, it has an importance. So you have to rewire. Then the last two and the most important points, because that if you do that and you're successful in that, I think you're gonna like kill it. So for that, what is it? It's like, don't be an advocate for others. Don't give an answer for them to you. What we do is, when somebody asks us for a favor, we kind of answer for them to ourselves in our head. It's like if somebody said, "Can you do it for me?" We'll be like, maybe it's just that maybe he would be busy, or he may not be feeling well, that's why he has asked me to do it. Or maybe he didn't have time, or maybe he didn't think enough, he didn't think that much, maybe he's silly. Nobody is silly. Don't answer for others. If they have, like, why are you answering for others? Don't they have a mouth? They have a mouth to ask you for favors, but they don't have one to give you reasons why. Why are you giving yourself reasons why you should be doing it? So that you feel better for abandoning yourself and doing things for others for no reason, which is actually being called nice. That's not being kind, that's being nice. Okay? Stop being an advocate for others. Let them earn their place in your life. Let them earn their right to be a part of your life, to have favors from you. All right? Don't answer for them. Ask them, why do you want me to do it? Why can't you do it yourself? If they don't have a genuine answer, don't do it. Connecting the dots again. Say no. Say it assertively. Think about why you want to do it. If it doesn't make you good, it doesn't make you feel happy, it makes you anxious, don't do it. You owe an answer to nobody. All right? You're not employed by them. They don't pay you for doing things. Right? So don't be an advocate for others in your head. Let them speak for themselves. All right? Now the last and the most important part, which if you master, I think you don't even have to think next time before saying no, or why do you have to be nice. And that is, learn to be alone. Learn to be happy, irrespective of somebody comes with you or somebody doesn't. Learn to enjoy moments just by yourself, because in reality we came here alone and we're gonna die alone. Nobody goes with us, nobody goes with dead people. You people don't even take a day before they kind of cremate the bodies once somebody dies. So that's the thing. You come into this world alone and you go alone, and in between we're just fighting for company. Why? Just when you will start learning and loving and enjoying being by yourself, you'll attract people who do that as well, and who don't take you for granted, because they know you will leave them just like that if if they don't make you feel good. So that will enhance your boundaries as well. That will help in all other aspects of your life, and ultimately it's going to help you in your mental health. So these are the steps in the crux I followed, and just trust me on my words. Just follow it for 21 days. That's all. On 22nd day, come back to this video and comment if it helped you, or if it doesn't, even then comment and we'll look at it. Although I'm 100% sure it's gonna do it. I'm gonna take accountability for what I've told you to do, and I'm gonna look out for your comments. So do that, follow it for yourself. We kind of do everything for others. Now start doing things for yourself. Thanks about it. Next, I will see you guys later in the comments, or maybe in next video. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna set any precedents that I'm gonna do it or not. Let's see. Setting examples right here.